Have you ever felt like life was moving too fast, and suddenly you looked up and wondered, wait, how did I get here? Have you ever thought about starting over, but fear held you back? Do you sometimes feel like you're invisible in a world obsessed with youth, hustle, and social media fame? If so, you're not alone. And if you're here, it means you found a space that understands. I'm the creator behind Autumn Haze, and today, I want to finally introduce myself. Not necessarily with my face, but with my story, my voice, and my journey. Because even though I keep stressing to you, dear Autumn Haze viewer, that this is a faceless channel, I want you to know that there is most definitely a real person behind it, behind this channel, creating, curating content for you while navigating the same season of life as you. So please grab a cup of coffee or tea, settle in, and let's get to know each other. Who am I? I'm a woman in my 50s, a solo ager, a deep thinker, a quiet observer, a lifelong learner. I've spent decades doing what I was supposed to do, building a career, being responsible, checking all the boxes, and yet somewhere along the way I lost myself. Not in a dramatic way, just in the slow, quiet way that happens when you're too busy surviving to question what you really want. I had success on paper, stability, a good life, but something was missing. The years passed, and then one day I looked up and realized I didn't want to keep living on autopilot. And so I did something terrifying. I decided to change everything. I left behind the career that had defined me for years. I let go of the expectations I had clung to for so long. I started questioning what truly makes me happy. And now, well, I'm here, doing the uncomfortable, because it is hard to navigate YouTube without half the knowledge younger creators know instinctively. But still, sharing, learning, and embracing this next chapter of life in the most unconventional way possible. The first thing I want you to know as you get to know me is that there are 3 big areas that define who I am in my life. And they all start with F. No, not that F. First up is my faith. My faith in God is everything to me. I'm an active Christian, not perfect by any means, but I try to live each day by His grace and with gratitude. It's my foundation, my anchor, my why. Without it, I'd be a hot mess. Next is my family. Now here's where people get it so wrong. Because I'm a solo ager, people assume I'm not family-oriented? Excuse me? If anything, my family means even more to me. My siblings and their families, love them to pieces. And should God send me a life partner one day, he and his family will be added to the circle too. Heck, I even have space in my heart for orphans and elders in their winter seasons because family isn't just blood. I want to spend my next season loving others like family and orphans. And some of the elderly are those I want to love because the gift of family has been taken from them. And then there's friends. Whew! Let's talk about that roller coaster. I've had some real friends in my life, I think. But let's be honest, I have been terrible at picking them. And I used to let in the manipulators, the backstabbers, the ones who laughed at me behind my back. And here's the kicker, I knew it. But I still thought, if I'm a good friend, perhaps they'll change. Spoiler alert. They didn't. Instead, they saw my kindness as a weakness. And when I finally cut them off, oh, the resistance. You'd think they'd be happy to be rid of me since they didn't respect me anyway. Nope. Turns out some people are addicted to having someone to manipulate. But not me. Not anymore. These days, I keep my circle tight. I love community, but deep friendship? That's a work in progress. And I know I'm not the only one. Is it just me? Autumn Hazers? Or do you also struggle with friendships too? I don't know why, but I feel it's important to let you know I'm an Afro-traditionally built plus-size woman. Always have been. And you know what? I don't let being plus-size stop me. I eat healthy, sometimes. But let's be real, sticking to a strict diet? Ooh, that's a roller coaster I've ridden too many times. Why? Because I'm someone who feels deeply. My emotions don't just exist, hey, run the show. And when they're all over the place, so is my food. I'm an emotional eater, but something clicked in this autumn season of life. I realized it was never about eating less. It was about eating smarter, giving my body what it needs to repair, thrive, and function like the woman I am. Arthritis. Yeah, she's a rude guest, but she's also teaching me a lot about nutrition I never paid attention to before. And honestly, I'm excited to learn more about how to eat well to manage my arthritic knee pain. Am I at my healthiest? Nope. Do I claim plus size peak health? Also nope. But I am doing my best. And I take care of myself at every size. Fashion? Love it. Moving my body? Absolutely. Feeling fabulous, regardless of the number on the scale? 100%. So if you're here thinking you can't live boldly until you reach some goal weight, forget that. Live now. Enjoy your life now. Be kind to yourself now. Coffee, my lifeline, my weakness, my absolute love. I don't know exactly when coffee became my ride or die, but here we are. No excuses, no justifications. I just love everything about it. The rich aroma, the bold taste, the cozy feeling of that first sip. Tea. Except when I'm sick. Then suddenly peppermint or some fancy herbal blend is my best friend. But black tea? I had to break up with it. Turns out I might have been reacting to the pesticides on the leaves. A tragedy, really. But coffee. Coffee and I are unshakable. Healthier alternatives? Who am I kidding? The closest I get to healthy is organic beans, when I can afford them. And water? Listen, if it's not in ice form or fizzy, I struggle. I know I should drink more, but let's just say I try to get my hydration from fruits and the like mostly. So, Autumn Hazers, now it's your turn. What's your go-to drink? Are you a fellow coffee lover, or is something else fueling your days? Let me know in the comments. All right, Autumn Hazers, I have just a few of my major interests I want to share with you, because let's be honest, the real list is way longer. But we'll pace ourselves. I'll reveal more over time. Gotta keep some mystery, right? I love books. I was obsessed with Ladybird books as a kid. Read every single one in the school library. Then Enid Blyton stole my heart. The Famous Five, The Magic Faraway Tree, absolute classics. But then I met Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, and that was it. My detective era was born. And let me tell you, at age 11, I met Agatha Christie and her brilliant detective Hercule Poirot, and I have never looked back. David Suchet, if you ever see this, thank you for being the perfect Poirot. This phase also introduced me to Pride and Prejudice, my favorite book of all time, second only to the Bible. Colin Firth, sir, you will forever be my Mr. Darcy. Thank you for your services. And then I fell deep into Jane Austen, the Bronte sisters, Charles Dickens, and basically anything period history. I could talk about it all day, but reading books wasn't enough. I had to write my own. I have written over 30 children's stories. 30! In a previous life, I taught preschool, and I used to make up stories for the kids. Eventually, I started writing them down, but I never had the confidence to send them to publishers. Then came the self-publishing boom, and I thought, great, I'll do it myself. Except let's just say my early attempts were painful, unedited disasters. But hey, we live and we learn. And now I'm doing it right. And this year is the year I finally published them. Then came my corporate era. I became a corporate consultant in HR development and started writing about self-improvement, career growth, and personal development. It was my first step into nonfiction, and now I'm so close to releasing my latest book titled, It Is Always Personal. Because, let's be honest, it is. I'll share more about it soon in case anyone's interested. But let's not forget the book that's been living rent-free in my head for years. There is an epic saga forming in my mind, just sitting there whispering, write me, write me. It's dramatic, emotional, probably going to be my greatest work yet, whenever I finally get around to writing it. So now it's your turn, Autumn Hazers. What's your favorite book of all time? Fiction, non-fiction? Drop it in the comments. Let's talk books. All right, Autumn Hazers, let's talk. This is technically a get-to-know-me video, but honestly, I feel like we've been on this journey together for a while. Still, I know I'm just an avatar to you, faceless, mysterious. A woman of intrigue. Or maybe just someone who refuses to put their face online. The Gen X in me just cannot get on board with broadcasting my face to the internet 24/7. Tried it, hated it, couldn't sustain it. But what I can do is still share my actual world with you, from my perspective, my thoughts, my passions, my experiences. And I hope that somewhere in all this, you can connect with something I say. So what will make me, well, me to you? Let's continue with getting to know me, Dot. Let quote S talk about how much music means to me. Dot music is like prayer to me, especially when life is lifing. I sing decently, play guitar and piano terribly. And if we grow a bit as a community, I might do a short music sesh on a live one day. No promises. But if you ask, I might give it a try. And travel? Absolutely love it. I've traveled a lot for work, but never really soaked in the places I went. Until autumn last year. Always autumn, huh? I took a solo trip to South Korea, my favorite country ever, and it was life-changing. No guide, no itinerary, just me living, healing, exploring. And let me tell you, it was unreal. So much so, God willing, I'm going back. And if you're 40 or 50 plus and dreaming of Korea, I've been asked about leading a small group tour this autumn 2025. Would you be interested? Drop Autumn 25 in the comments if that's a yes. Also, confession time. I am a K-drama addict. Am I too old for this? Maybe. Do I care? Not one bit. But as much as I love travel, I also want roots. I live in London, but the city life? Not forever. I dream of a slower pace, a place where I can indulge my inner homesteader. Yes, I love all things homesteading. I'm learning to make sourdough bread. I knit, I crochet, I bake. I do all the cozy things. And some of my creative projects might end up in my Etsy store. If you see something you love, you can own a piece of my side hustle journey. And finally, the biggest shift, my career. I'm doing something wild. I'm starting over, walking away from corporate security and diving headfirst into a risky, unpredictable, exciting new career as a content creator and entrepreneur. Will it work? Who knows? But what I do know is that I need this change for my mental, emotional, and physical health. So, Autumn Hazers, what about you? Are you in your 40s or 50s and feeling that season of change? Are you starting over? Pivoting? Dreaming of something new? I'd love to hear your story. Drop a comment. Let's chat. Why a faceless channel? I get this question a lot. Why faceless? The truth is, I love my privacy. I'm a deeply introspective person, and the idea of being on camera all the time just never felt natural to me. But I also know that my voice, my thoughts, my experiences still matter. So I created Autumn Haze, a space where I could share real life, real reflections, and real experiences without the pressure of performing on screen. And I know I'm not the only person who feels that way. Surely, perhaps it's my age. Many of you watching, if you could, would you prefer faceless content too? Many of you aren't chasing social media stardom. You just want meaningful conversations, thoughtful reflections, and a place where you feel seen and heard. Hopefully this channel is a part of that place for you. It is my sincere hope it will become that for you. And for me. So what is this channel really about exactly? This channel is not about trying to go viral, becoming an influencer, or chasing internet fame, though you never know how things end up. It's about starting over at 50 plus and embracing change, finding purpose beyond career and family, navigating midlife as a solo, ager, slow living and intentional choices, travel, exploration, and new experiences. Honest conversations about aging and reinvention. It's about documenting the journey of becoming, even in midlife. It's about reminding ourselves that our best years aren't behind us. They're ahead of us. And most importantly, it's about community. My message to you. I know that many of you watching are in the same season of life as me. Maybe you're thinking about changing careers, moving to a new place, pursuing a long-forgotten dream. Maybe you're feeling uncertain, invisible, or stuck. Maybe you're wondering, is it too late? Here's what I want to tell you. It's never too late. You are not past your prime. You are not too old to start over. Your dreams, your voice, your experiences still matter. And if you need a space that reminds you of that, you're in the right place. I have so much planned for this channel. Personal reflections on midlife reinvention, solo travel experiences and new adventures, conversations about aging, purpose, and identity, practical insights for anyone starting over at 50 plus. If any of that speaks to you, I invite you to subscribe and join this journey with me. And if you've made it this far into the video, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, where are you in your journey? What's one thing you're hoping to change or explore in this season of life? Let's build a supportive, thoughtful, and inspiring community together. Because even though this is a faceless channel, this is still a space for real connection. Thank you for being here, for watching, for sharing this journey with me. Thank you for supporting this Autumn Haze channel. And this is only the beginning. Until next time, take care and remember, you are not alone.